What up, everybody? Welcome back to Live Good, Feel Better, the podcast where we talk about health in a way that's practical, honest, and actually doable. My name is Joshua Gibson, a believer, husband, father, rapper, business owner, health enthusiast, and now, in season 2, officially a podcast host. Look around here, y'all. We focus on simple habits and real conversations that help us grow physically, mentally, spiritually, and financially. But I want y'all to keep in mind, this is not about perfection, but it is about progress, taking steps forward to improve every single day. Our scripture for season 2 is Proverbs 3, 5, and 6, which is trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean into your own understanding, but in all your ways acknowledge him and he will direct your path. That's the energy that we are carrying into this season, trusting God, staying consistent, and figuring it out one step at a time. Now, with that being said, let's get into the guest for this week. Today's guest is somebody who's bringing a completely different feel to the health and wellness space. Known online as the Juice Connoisseur, he has built a platform around intentional living, elevated wellness, and what he calls a mission to find the best juices the world has to offer. And when you look at his content, you can feel that immediately. The visuals, the presentation, the atmosphere, it all feels curated with purpose. In a world where health content can sometimes feel overwhelming or extreme, his approach makes wellness feel calm, clean, and like elevated luxury. But what really caught my attention is that he's not just building healthy habits, he's building a lifestyle and a brand around intentional living. So today, we're talking health, discipline, branding, routine, social media, and how to make taking care of yourself feel like a lifestyle you genuinely enjoy. So y'all help me welcome the Juice Connoisseur himself, Nathan Spaine. How you doing, bro?
What's good, bro? I'm doing amazing, bro. What an intro, man. I appreciate it.
Man, I do what I can, man. I try to get my Club Shay on if I can with the intros. So, but let's start with who you are as a person. So outside of social media, outside of what you do for work, just who you are at the core.
Yeah, I think first and foremost, I'm a believer, and when I was watching and listening to some of your podcasts, I really love the scripture that's anchoring this season 2. Obviously Proverbs 3, 5 through 6.
Yes.
And I feel like it was very fitting for the season I'm in right now, and it was like, man, what better season to be a part of?
Hey.
So really, really, really kudos to you for like anchoring like this podcast and scripture.
Definitely, man. Thank you.
Right. No, 100%. And then I would say in addition to that, family, man, come from a huge family. My mom's one of 10. So had a lot of cousins growing up. It's 25 of us. I'm like
Man.
the second oldest. So one of the leaders in the family. And then professionally, like I was working in tech as a content designer. So that's a little bit about my belief, personal life, and then professional life.
Perfect. So how did you start the Juice Connoisseur page? I think I remember when I came across your page, I was like, this dude is traveling all over the world. Like it was an immediate follow. So like what kind of got that concept to come to life?
The idea, like I created the page in 2019, but I didn't start posting until last October. So yeah, so I'll give you a little bit of background story on like the genesis. So in 2019, I don't know specifically like what prompted me to ask myself this question, but like it was an interesting phase in my life, and I asked myself like, if there's anything I could do in the world, what would I do? And this response I had was I would travel the world like trying exotic fruit and juice. And it kind of stopped there. I initially did a quick YouTube search to see if anyone was doing this. Didn't really see it. And then it kind of died there. And then maybe a few months later, I think it was like June of that same 2019, I came across, I don't remember his name, but he coins himself as like the water sommelier. I came across his page randomly, and he was tasting different waters in the grocery store, talking about it, like, oh, the water in Germany is like this versus water in the US. And I was just like, okay, that's cool. And I think that moment can brought me back to that thought I had. And in that moment, I was like, I could do this for juice. And that's when I came up, like, in that moment, the juice connoisseur. So immediately I was like, man, I'm not ready. I'm not in a place to like actually execute on this right now because I had a bunch of other things. So I said, let me at least own the digital real estate. So I created the Instagram and just sat on the Instagram for all those years and created email and just waited for, I won't say the right opportunity, but October, I finally was like, man, it's time to start executing on this idea.
What prompted it in October? Was it just like you just be like, man, it's time to get to it, or was it like because that's a long gap, like 2019 all the way to
Right,
2025.
right. So initially, when I had the idea, I thought I would just be doing juice reviews of like juices in the store.
Yeah,
Um, But, like, over during that time period, I was doing, some traveling, and I found myself always, like, anytime I went to a new city or a new country, like, always looking for the juice spots, and I was like, maybe this is actually what I should, like, focus on for that juice page I wanna create." And I think last year I had started it a bit because I was, in Brazil working remote for, like, a month, so I was like, "This is a great time to kinda launch the page." So I started it on TikTok. I was doing it for maybe that month, and then I just kinda fell off, if I'm being honest.
yeah,
When I moved to New York last year, I was like, "You know what? You know, it's time." Like, I sat on this idea way too long, it's time to actually execute on it, and that's what prompted me to start in October. Yeah.
that's what's up, man, and it's definitely making an impact. Like,
Mhm.
do you feel that like traveling has changed the way that you think about health and wellness?
That's a good question. I would say definitely because everything is branding when it comes to like food, right? Like
Yep.
even when you think about the label organic, right? Like the FDA owns the label organic. So it's like
Mm,
even if you're using like good like practices, if you can't pay the fee to like remain to keep your organic certification, then it's like it's really all branding. Like you could have good quality fruit and not be able to label it organic because you can't pay for the certification, you know?
really? Okay,
Yeah,
so we're gonna stay
yeah,
right there because you teaching me
yeah,
some things. So
yeah.
organic is really just a paid subscription, is what you're saying.
They are like monitoring like your practices. Like there are like certain, there is a certification process. So like they're checking are you using pesticides, et cetera, et cetera. But you do have to pay for it. It's not just like,
Mm,
hey, we'll evaluate your farm for free. And if you're upholding these practices, we'll give you the term organic. No,
right.
like the USDA, I think, I don't know, it's like maybe let's say $3,000 to maintain that certification annually. So like some farmers, a lot of these small farmers, they can't actually like afford that.
Right.
Running a farm is, a tough business. So, like when I was in Mexico, I was one of the juices. It was made on a centrifugal juicer, and usually, like I would prefer a cold pressed juicer,
Yeah.
and it was better than some of the cold pressed juices I've had in the U.S. because like the ingredients are just better. The produce is just better there, you know.
Facts.
So I think that's one of the big things that traveling has revealed to me is just like, at the end of the day, it's the quality of produce. And sometimes like America, sometimes it's challenging to get high quality produce. I'll just leave it at
Now,
that.
bro, you don't have to. I saw your video. I think it was titled "Why I Hate America." Before I
Yeah,
even clicked on the video, I was like, "Yeah, I agree with
yeah.
everything." It's like my wife and I were in Cancun,
Hmm.
and all the like there was grapes with seeds in them, and the
Yep.
fruit just tasted different. So there's definitely a difference in like fruit here in the States versus everywhere else in the world. But I do want to say, like, so for one, what's the furthest that you traveled to get a
Hmm.
juice, and then what
Hmm.
city has the best juice culture, if there is a juice culture?
Specifically, as I've been like creating content, I would say probably Brazil has been Rio's probably the farthest I've traveled. I would say honestly, New York has a big juice culture.
Mm.
Um, I may have to put on for the city a little bit, but
That's typical of a New Yorker. No,
I would say New York has a really big juice culture. Like you can find juice bars pretty much in every neighborhood and multiple
yeah.
juice bars in every neighborhood. And even dating back to like the 80s, 90s, they've always had like a present juice culture.
What's up? So outside of New York, are
Hmm.
you? I've always wondered this watching your page. Are you
Yeah.
intentionally traveling to different cities for the juices, or are you traveling for another reason and just happen to stop by the juice spot?
I would say it's a mix of both. I
Okay,
think from a branding perspective, usually I would coin it as like a juice trip, but
yeah,
I would say it's definitely a mix of both. I think definitely I do want to like something that's on my mind is just to be able to do day trips. Like if can find a cheap ticket, let's say like under $100, like round trip, maybe take a day trip to a city that like maybe I wouldn't like naturally find myself going there.
hmm
But it would be an opportunity to like, shine light on cities that always don't, get the due visibility.
and like we were talking offline. You said you used to have a podcast.
Yeah.
I can tell from watching your videos that you're comfortable on camera, which a lot of people don't have. So like. Talk about is that something that you had to build up to, or were you always
Mm,
comfortable being in front of the camera and talking, or
yeah. I think it grew over time. Initially, I started just talking. I had to have like I was using my front camera
yeah,
just
yeah.
because, that was the most comfortable. And then like after some months, I became comfortable just using my back camera.
And you're just naturally you feel comfortable on camera, setting your camera up and having people walk by and look at you in the background but while you're talking about juice, like, how do you why do you not care about that? Or do you care and you're just like, "Man, I'm just
Mhm.
gonna do this anyway just because I gotta get this
Yeah.
content."
For the first 15 to 20 seconds of recording, it's a little awkward, if I'm be honest.
Yep, yep,
Uh, but once I kind of get into the zone, like, I kind of disconnect and disengage from the world around me. Obviously, I'm vigilant, especially like I'm in all different types of areas and neighborhoods. So like anything can be happening like to
yeah.
the right or left of me. So, but for the most part, I kind of disengage and just kind of immerse myself in the content creation process.
That's how I feel, man, like, sometimes me and my wife have a family page.
Okay.
And every once in a while, we'll do stuff in public. I'm like, man, like this. It's not anything crazy like
Yeah.
pranks or anything like that, but just filming in general.
Hmm.
And you do kind of have to disengage a little bit. Like, you know what?
Yeah.
This idea was funny. It's some good content, so let's just do it. And so far, 100% of the time, like nobody is judging. Everybody's always interested in what's going on. So it's a good feeling for sure.
Right. Like, how long have you and your wife had that page and like been creating content?
I think we started the page in the end of 2022.
Okay.
Which is crazy now that I think I haven't even thought about that. And yeah, it's 2026. So there's been some times here and there where there have been some gaps. So like we're not creating content for whatever reason. But overall it's been pretty consistent and fun. So and
Okay.
that's a whole different page outside of juice. And we're talking about relationships and
Okay.
raising kids and all that. So it's
No, that's dope. That's dope. But yeah, I think bottom line is it never, I don't think as much times as you create content, I don't think it ever gets, it's never not going to be awkward. So like,
no.
you just gotta do it.
So for you, like what's been something
Mhm.
online about your lifestyle that looks easy, but actually it takes discipline or it might be hard behind the scenes?
I would say definitely going to the juice bars, like because at least my current stance is like I go to juice bars. Like people obviously sometimes they invite me. Like now that the platform is going, they'll invite me. But for a long time, I was doing the research, searching and finding juice bars and just like pulling up. So like some Saturdays, I would not go out on a Friday night because Saturday I'm gonna drive. I know like I'm driving to Jersey and I'm trying to hit up 3 or 4 juice bars. and
Yeah.
that's gonna be my Saturday morning to late afternoon. I'm gonna get home late, 8 o'clock, tired because I've been driving around, hitting up different juice bars. So it's definitely not. I would say it definitely looks easy because it's like, okay, it's a fun, short, maybe a minute, 2-minute video, but like the time to like get to the juice bar, set up, do the review, and all that,
The
it's
the
it's a lot of work.
bloopers.
Yeah, the
Nobody.
blooper, yeah, everything,
Yep.
everything. It's tough, and then also like I'm sure like working in production, like finding the right location to actually shoot. Like, okay, the
Yeah.
lighting, you know what I'm saying? It's so many things like from getting to the juice to like actually being able to record. There's so much time and like intentionality that is required to actually just even get to recording. So I think all those things, definitely contribute to it.
And how did you even get into juicing or
Mm.
eating healthy? Like, kinda talk about
Right.
your lifestyle before you juiced, and then why you
Yeah.
even got into fresh juices over the Tropicanas or all that.
I've always like been a juice lover. I like to say, I've like my mom and my family used to always get on me because back in the day, like you had to ask your mom for permission to take juice out of the fridge. Like
Bruh,
you,
yeah.
it's not like today where you just go in the fridge and just pour yourself a cup. So
Right.
my family used to always make fun of me and saying like, "Oh, every time you ask your mom, can I have juice? Mom, can I have juice? Mom, can I have juice?" So I've always like loved juice. Um, and it was 2017, um, is when I discovered like cold pressed juice. I
Mm.
was in Starbucks one day and I was getting like a breakfast sandwich and I saw like they had Evolution orange juice. And I picked it up and I drank it. I was like, whoa, this orange juice is hitting. Like, what is it about this orange juice that is like making it taste so good? So obviously on the bottle it said cold press. And that's what like kind of set me down the rabbit hole of like learning about like the juice processing type, the different processing methods. And yeah, so that's kinda sent me down, like, the juicing journey.
So on your search in the rabbit hole,
Mhm.
going down like the juicing YouTube or
Yeah.
Instagram or whatever, is that when you came across the Nama juicer, or did you know about that before?
So, I don't think I came across the Naaman juicer till, like, 2020. So, I went down the hole, but, like, I bought my first juicer, I think it was, like, one of those old Rebels, and I think no, I was gifted a juicer, and I think around that time, 2017, I was like, "Man, I'm gonna start juicing." And I juiced with the Breville, and it was so disheartening because the majority of the produce went to waste. And like,
Yeah,
I generally love fruit too. And I was like, there's no way I'm going to throw away all this fruit and get this little juice.
bruh.
So, so I think I used my juicer for that old juicer maybe 2 or 3 times. I was just like, "Yeah, this is not it." Then I think it was probably like 2020, 2021. That's when I came across the Nama juicer. I was like, "Oh, okay, like, I can actually have, like, a personal juicer that, won't, like, have all this excess and is gonna give me, like, a large yield when it comes to juice."
So do you think it's worth the investment? And then also kind of talk about because you're a Nama partner, right?
No, no, no.
Oh, you're not?
Mm-mm.
Oh, we're gonna cut this part out then. I don't know why I thought you were because I saw them liking a few of your posts and
Yeah, yeah.
um
They need to hit me up.
bro, hey, so I'm a Nama partner
Mm.
and I just slid in their DM like, how do you become a partner? And
Mhm.
like 3, 4 months later, I was in their Zoom meetings. I was just like, what am I doing here? But yeah, man, hit them up.
I hit him up, like, I think probably because it was when I first started, and I hit them. They never hit me back, but I'll probably hit them up now. Let's
Yeah, for
re
sure.
re reignite reignite that conversation.
Yeah, yeah, make it happen. I'll try to do what I can too. Not like I have any strong pull, but I do some of the brand ambassadors. I'll talk to them in the Zoom meetings,
Mhm,
and I feel like if I would just mention you, they would
mhm.
actually look. So
Okay. I appreciate that.
yeah, for sure. So do you think healthier environments like affect people mentally too, like the energy and the pace? Like when you
Mhm.
go to like different places, do you feel like okay, I can feel the energy is
Yeah.
different here because people aren't rushing as much, like particularly like outside the country, or
Right.
do you think it's just all about like food and drinks and everything?
Yeah, I would definitely say, like, leaving America, like, I feel like America is very fast paced. So I think what really exposed me to that was when I was in college, my first time like leaving the country and like really second time being on a plane, I studied abroad in Paris with my business school. And obviously, I think before that, I had this misconception that like all quote unquote like developed countries were the same. I'm just like, Paris is the same, they just speak a different language.
Yep.
But culturally, it was completely different. Like the pace of life was a lot slower. Um, the flat I was living in, we didn't have a microwave. I was just like, what?
Mm.
Yeah, it was like a totally different way of life. And I think that kind of exposed me just how different like people live across like the world. And you know, a lot of things are American. They're not necessarily like quote unquote developed, associated with developed countries. You know,
Yeah.
it's just an American way of life.
Yeah, and it's like when you get out of that, you're just like, man, like what have we been doing?
Yeah.
Like you said in that video, like about there's so many different fruits out there. Like
Hmm.
we grew up when I was a kid, all I heard about was apples, grapes,
Right.
bananas, the main I call them the main three. But
Right.
there people grow up with mangoes and dragon fruit and all sorts of
Right.
different fruits that I didn't try until I was like well into my 30s.
Right.
So kind of talk about has there been something that's been hard about building a brand online? Because you started in 2025
Mm-hmm.
and now you have, to me, you have a whole bunch of followers. Like, for one, talk about was it hard or was it easy? Like, how did those followers come?
Yeah, honestly, like the following has just grown like pretty much in the last month and a half. Like for a
Mm,
long time, like I was kind of stuck in the 500 range and like in the 1,000 range.
yeah.
And then pretty much I posted, this was like the second or third video I created in 2025. January 2025, when I was posting on TikTok. I randomly was like, let me just post this as like a trial reel. And I posted as a trial reel. And it was like, obviously, it was one of the first videos I did. So, like, the quality wasn't that good. The audio wasn't that good, but it just resonated with people. It
Yeah.
was things I hate as a juice lover. And it just started like performing very well. And it just started like bringing in the followers. And I was just
Wow.
like, what the heck? I was so confused. So that made me, I was like, okay, let me just double down. Let me do a part two.
Mm,
So I did a part two, and the part two did even better. Those two videos took me to like maybe 3,000 something.
wow.
And then, yeah. And then I did a part three, and the part three, that's what really helped me grow a lot. It took me from like 3,000 to where I am today, like 6,000.
So this is you just talking to the camera, not
Hmm.
juicing,
No.
not necessarily eating fruit, but just you telling your opinion about what you hate about
Yeah.
juice. Man, I'm over here
Yeah.
making full production,
Yeah.
slow mo juice. I'm like, man, where are the followers at?
Yeah,
So
bro. Yeah.
sounds
Yeah.
like you need to make a part four.
Yeah. No, for real, for real. It's funny because the part three was, it was obviously things I thought about, but it was really what a lot of people were saying in my comments. These are other things that I hate. And I was like, okay. Like the most
Mm,
common one was, which is true, like a lot of brands, like they'll have like, let's say mango on the front, but
yeah.
it has like 5 or 6 different ingredients. It's mainly apple. People, that was like the main thing people complained about. I was like, that is annoying to me, but I had never thought to like include it in my list.
Yeah.
So I made that the first point, and I think that's probably what like really helped the part 3 really resonate with people a lot, because that was like the most common comment I got from the part 2s.
Nice. So
Yeah.
what me as a person who loves juicing, and of course there's definitely some negatives about juicing, like
Yeah.
cleaning the juicer and the
Yeah.
mess it makes and all that. Like, talk about some of the things in that video that you hated. I just want to
Mhm.
hear some of them.
Restaurants who put too much ice in your
Mm,
juice, 'cause it's like, bro. And I think one of the things that pisses me off about that most, 'cause it's like, now I'm forced to drink my juice super fast, or else my juice is gonna get watered down. Very
yeah,
frustrating. So that was a big one from part 1. I think part 2 was something you said, um, juicing itself. I was like, even though I love juice, I actually hate juicing. That's why I love
yeah,
going to different juice bars.
yep,
Just because obviously like the cleanup. Um, I think another one, big one was juice. Some of the big juice bars, like chains, a lot of them actually ship in their juice,
yeah,
which I didn't realize. And I'm just like, y'all have this whole storefront like you're producing the juice on site,
yeah,
but you're actually shipping it from some distribution center and God knows where, you know?
yeah,
So those some of the big ones. Oh, and then I think the last one, which was the more controversial one, people were like, people who water down their juice.
yeah. I don't like watering down my juice, man. Like, if I'm
Me
letting
either.
other people taste my juice, like I'm not gonna put water in it. Like, I need you to taste every bit of fruit and
Right.
flavor that's in here, so you can give me a little credit. Like, man, that's a good little combination. But when you put water in there, it's watered down. But in 5 years, like if everything goes perfectly with
Mhm,
your page and you gain like another 3,000 followers or whatever,
mhm.
what does your life look like? Are you still gonna be doing social media or something else? Or like, what is your 5-year plan as of right now?
So, honestly, like, a lot of people have asked me, like, with the page, like, is my goal to, like, create my own juice bar, create my own juice brand, etcetera? I would say no. Like, my real goal is to personally, what success would look like for me is having, like, a small farm and being able to just, like, grow some tropical fruit, whether probably somewhere like maybe Florida, if I was in the US, and just being able to like grow my own fruit and juice my fruit for myself, that would be life. That would be the good life for me personally.
That's what's up. What's your go-to juice?
If I'm juicing myself, probably like I love like a pineapple, cucumber, lemon. I love
Mm.
that combo, very refreshing. And then obviously, my staple, my beet juice,
Yep,
my beet, apple, you know, lemon, maybe a pineapple. I love my beet juices for sure. What about you?
nice. Man, for me, I lately I've been pineapple for sure, man.
Mhm.
Like, I love pineapple. So I've been mixing pineapple, red apple, and
Mm,
oranges
mm,
and ginger. So like that's
okay.
that's been my like if I'm feeling lazy and don't feel like coming up with a cool combination, like I'll
Yeah,
always go right back to that and I'm satisfied every single time.
yeah.
So a couple more questions, man.
Hmm.
With you having a page where you travel,
Hmm.
where do you want to travel next and why?
I'm going to Costa Rica towards the end of the year.
Nice.
So I'm really, really excited about that. Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
man, I asked this question to everybody
Hmm.
on the podcast. What does live good, feel better mean to you?
What's the Dion quote? What's the Deion Sanders quote? You know what I'm saying? This quote, he said, if you feel good, if you look good, if you feel good, like you play good, they pay good. Essentially, I don't
Mm,
know why that came to my mind, but just saying like everything starts with from how you feel. So like if you want if you want your life to be better and you want to live good, it starts with how you feel. And so much of about how you feel is like what you eat and what you consume. I feel like we're in a world where we've moved away from you are what you eat, you know what I mean? And like what you eat, and we've kind of disassociated and disconnected like what we eat and how it impacts our well-being.
yeah,
So if you truly are interested in like feeling good in your day-to-day life, that starts with being intentional about what you're consuming. And I think once you start there, like you'll be able to reap the benefits of that. Like you're gonna have more energy, and if you have more energy, that's gonna show up in your day to day and in the work that you produce, right?
yeah.
So I would say that's what it means to me.
Absolutely. And then for somebody watching this who
Hmm.
wants to start living healthier, but they feel overwhelmed,
Right.
you're getting one tip over here saying don't drink water, and you're getting a tip over here saying drink all the water. Like, it's overwhelming for sure. So, like,
Right.
what advice would you give that person?
Find what's right for you. You
Mm,
know, I think, and take everything. Find what's right for you, and take everything with a grain of salt. Cause like,
absolutely.
like for me, like what I've learned about myself is if I'm sick, if I eat watermelons for 2, 3 days, I don't need to take medication. I'll feel better. That's what I've learned is right for me. That may not
Yeah.
work for the next person, but I think it just takes be intentional about learning about yourself and like learning your own body. And I would say just start small. If you're concerned, like I've been getting a lot of DMs about people who want to juice and like, man, I can't afford the now I'm a juicer and I can't afford to be paying $8 at this local juice bar. How do I get started? And I feel like get a manual juicer. Just
Yeah.
juice, just start juicing some oranges. If you could start there, if you could just throw the Tropicana orange juice away and just make your own orange juice, maybe you're not just one step at a time. Like it took me a long time to get to where I am today. Like for a long time, I couldn't afford to be doing what I'm doing today. But I think it's just starting with what you have. You know.
Perfect. Well, man, thank you for being a guest on the podcast, man. I truly appreciate it. I say this to everybody. I feel like it's getting redundant, but I mean it. It's always nice to actually talk to people face to face,
For sure.
digitally, as opposed to being in the comments or just seeing you on Instagram or TikTok. It's kind of cool to get to know the person behind the social media. So
Right.
thank you for being on the podcast, and we will see y'all next week.
Peace.
I really hope y'all enjoyed that episode and show some love to our guests by following them on all their social platforms. And if you want to support Live Good, Feel Better, make sure y'all subscribe on YouTube by searching Live Good, Feel Better Podcast. Also, follow us on Instagram by searching Live Good, Feel Better Pod. But remember, there's an underscore in between each word. Look, I need y'all to leave a 5-star review on Apple or Spotify. It really helps the show grow and reach more people. Also, this is a shameless plug. If you are into juicing fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, and just overall health content, follow my personal page, which is Juicing with Josh. Once again, there's an underscore in between each word. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Make sure you come back for the next episode. And remember, do what you can to live good so you feel better. Peace. Ambition, I'ma go after. Obstacles, it don't matter. All action, low chatter, won't slow down, I'ma go faster. More goals that I'll try. Let's scroll on Wi-Fi, no fast food in my gut. More sunshine, cause I'm outside. Only time speaking vocally is in the song, then you gon' see. Every single thing paying out like my wife cooking and we about to eat. Bank accounts with interest, stocks up when I invest. No updates on my timeline, could care less if you impress. My vision board on Pinterest, I'm praying more when I get stressed. I'm making sure that my kids set. My 2 boys, they been next. Took a break, I'ma get going. I was moving quiet like the wind blowing. Now I'm stomping for my dreams, and I promise you there's no more tiptoeing. Cause ambition I'ma go after. Obstacles, it don't matter. All action, low chatter, won't slow down, I'ma go faster. More goals that I'll try. Let's scroll on Wi-Fi, no fast food in my gut. More sunshine cause I'm outside.